Hi, my name is Lloyd Chapman, and I'm the president and founder of the American Small Business League. I'm making this video to try to encourage people in the mainstream media to help small businesses handle this horrible economic downturn we're all experiencing. Anybody that knows me or the American Small Business League knows that my number one issue is the diversion of federal small business contracts to Fortune 500 companies. And I would imagine that very few people out there would disagree with me when I say that Fortune 500 companies should be anywhere near this country's small business contracting programs. And yet I've been fighting this battle for 7 years. My information has prompted over a dozen federal investigations, probably 400 or 500 stories in the press. We've done hundreds of radio shows around the country. Some of the biggest television networks in the country have done this story, but unfortunately it's still going on. And now we're concerned that the Obama administration and Congress may be trying to pass yet more loopholes to divert more money from middle-class America to wealthy venture capitalists. I saw a couple of the nation's top economic experts on television the other day, and they both agreed that to create jobs in America, the simplest, easiest way is to take federal infrastructure funds and give those contracts to small businesses. And I agree completely. And I believe that's why the Small Business Act was passed in 1953. But that's not happening. We've seen the loopholes where some of the biggest companies in the world are getting that money. And now we think the Obama administration is going to adopt legislation and policy that will create a loophole that will allow some of the nation's wealthiest investors to hijack federal contracts intended for small businesses. That's going to push our country even deeper into a recession and possibly closer to a depression. So we're hoping that people in the mainstream media, if and when this happens, will jump in and help us publicize that and expose it and hopefully stop it. So I'm predicting right now that Barack Obama, in his first 90 days of office, will try to adopt legislation policy, possibly under the guise of an emergency stimulus package or a rescue plan for small businesses. I think he's going to try to modify the Small Business Act, change the federal definition of a small business from being independently owned to include firms that are actually not independently owned and controlled by venture capitalists, and allow those companies to steal contracts meant for middle-class America. And I hope, if and when that happens, I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, I hope that mainstream media, people like CNN and ABC and CBS and every other television network, and people from the biggest newspapers in the country will, do small business a favor. There's 26 million small businesses. That's where most Americans work. That's where over 85% of the new jobs are created. Those businesses are the heart and soul of our nation's economy. And our nation is on the verge of one of the biggest economic disasters in our lifetime. And I think it's only makes sense to at least comply with existing federal programs to create jobs in middle class America, and certainly not create more loopholes. So if I'm right, and Congress and Barack Obama try to create more loopholes, they're going to hurt our economy, hurt our middle class. I hope we can count on everybody at CNN and everybody at ABC and CBS and ABC and everybody out there with the biggest newspapers to help us expose this and stop it. Thank you very much. I'm Lloyd Chapman.